Toad, everyone's favorite big-headed fungal minion. Sometimes he's a better platformer than Jumpman himself, and other times he's a helpless crybaby that's more of a liability to Peach than anything. Today, we're gonna look at Toad's character in every mainline Mario game and rank him from worthless to elite. Starting off with the OG Super Mario Bros., Toad just taunts us. At the end of every world, you defeat Bowser and think you're finally getting the princess back, only to run into one of these assholes straight up flipping you off and yelling at you to check another castle. Well, if you know where she is, why can't you just fucking show me? No, you're going down in worthless. Same story as the original game, but at least you kinda expect it from him at this point. This game ditches the pansy red Toad from the first games in favor of the superior blue Toad, who actually contributes to the story. Right from the beginning, you can select from Mario, Luigi, Peach, and Toad. Mario's well balanced, Luigi has a higher jump, Peach can float, and Toad can run and pull items up faster than anybody else. This makes him a slightly more challenging character to control, but raises the skill ceiling to the max, allowing you to get more coins in the Dark World and work through levels quicker. He's playable in every single stage, and definitely earns a spot in Elite. Oh, so it was just a dream. In that case, I still gotta put him in Elite. Within the parameters of the game, he's just as useful as the rest of the crew, so I'll give it to him. Mario 3 demotes Toad to a background character, where he only appears in the mushroom huts that are spread across the world map, and lets us pick a random item to store for later. That's actually pretty freaking helpful though, and while he's just standing there and doesn't let us pick the item we want, being able to stockpile these comes in clutch later in the game, so I'm actually gonna give him pretty helpful for this. Super Mario World takes place in Dinosaur Land, not the Mushroom Kingdom, so Yoshi takes the spotlight and Toad is left in Fegon. Mario's first 3D outing puts the Toads into a new role, as an NPC that provides helpful hints and context to Mario throughout the game. And for once, the hints are actually useful, because there's a ton of mysteries and hidden areas in this castle that I never would have found without them. Also, some of them have power stars. Don't know how they got them, but it helps Mario a good bit, so I'm not complaining. He deserves pretty helpful cheer. Mario and the crew take a vacation to Isle Delfino, and a few lucky Toads get to go with, because even royal guards that don't do their job need a break. But the only one that does anything is Toadsworth. He guides us a bit early in the game, but isn't an important character at all. And the other Toads just sit around for most of the game and complain about their vacation being ruined or some shit. Or give you a piece of way too obvious advice. Toadsworth is the only reason they're not going in worthless, so he saves it too. Basically the same as he was in the original, which isn't a bad thing. Pretty helpful. This one brings back the Toad houses from Mario 3, but this time it's Toadsworth tending to all of them, and the general Toad species is nowhere to be seen. Where did they go? I have no idea, but it's why this tier's here in the first place, so... There's a ton of Toads throughout the game. Some get frozen into ice clusters or just chill in the observatory, but there's a couple specific Toads that make this one a really tough one to gauge. Right in the opening cinematics, we see Bowser pull up to Peach's castle and threaten her, and her two most trusted royal guard Toads literally just cower in fear and use her as a human shield. But the other Toads in the game pick it up a bit. There's a Maltoad on the observatory that gives you all the one-up mushrooms that Peach sent. Don't ask me how Peach is sending those from Bowser's clutches, or how this guy gets them, but still, he's filling some kind of role, so it's a good start. But this game also introduces Captain Toad, who owns his very own spaceship and explores the galaxy independent from Mario, finding quite a few power stars and helping us out a lot. Captain Toad would go up in Elite, but since there's a mix in this game, I gotta put Toad overall in the mid-tier. New Super Mario Bros. Wii gives Toad his first playable role since Mario 2, but this time around, he's only selectable in multiplayer, and he plays the exact same as the other characters, so no speed increase unfortunately. You get Blue Toad like before, but new is the Yellow Toad. They must really hate that red one, huh? Being playable for the full game in co-op makes me want to put him all the way up in Elite, but we can't forget about these Red Toads are the most iconic and most useless form of these guys. These little rescue missions aren't that difficult, but it pains Toad to be so goddamn helpless. He cries in the world map, and even after being freed, just walks around aimlessly and needs Mario to carry him to the flagpole. Dude, you're fully capable of walking your ass to the end. Why do I have to drag you there myself? Now, some of the red ones host these Toad houses again, but the kidnapped ones are straight up a nuisance. Here's what I'm gonna do. Blue and yellow get Elite, and red, despite the mushroom huts, is going down in worthless. Toad in this game is about the same as he was in Galaxy 1, but this time he doesn't humiliate himself in the opening cutscene. They're still mostly background characters though, and a lot of them still require saving from ice. That's not the best look, but we do see Captain Toad taking to the skies again and contributing quite a bit, and two pretty prominent Toads on Starship Mario, acting as the banker, and once again, the mailman. Slightly better than the original, but still sitting in some arcade. In Mario 3D Land, Toad runs the mushroom houses like usual, but can also be found in select levels to give you hints on where star medals might be hiding. That's actually really helpful. So, New Super Mario Bros. 2 isn't a new Super Mario Bros. 2, it's a New Super Mario Bros. 2, but it's actually the third game. Toad reprises his role as the Mushroom Hut attendant and lets you pick whatever power-up you want, which is cool. And since they're the only Toads we see, it's going pretty helpful.
New Halo Top with delicious mix-ins in every bite, but half the calories.
He's pretty much the same as he was in Mario Bros. Wii here, being playable in a blue and yellow form, and the Switch port adds Toadette, who's an easy mode that turns into Peachette and spawned a slew of yucky fan art. But the three are fully playable, Toads run the mushroom houses, and when the last digits on your timer are the same, he gives you a bonus item at the end of a stage, which is a big plus. And since he no longer requires saving from Mario and doesn't cry like a bitch, there's nothing holding him back. This is an easy elite. Super Mario 3D World brings back the character selection from the original Mario 2, and also brings back their distinct gameplay styles, so Blue Toad fast again. Sick. He's playable from start to finish, and is just as useful as Mario, but debatably even more so. And that's not even to mention Captain Toad, who makes his first playable appearance here in his own set of puzzle-based levels, which will go on to spawn their own game a few years later, and paint him as even more capable. He's also found in some levels getting chased around by some bad guys, but he has a green star, and that helps out too. This is the most prominent and helpful Toad has ever been. Elite. Toads play a crucial role in Mario Run. After Bowser decimates the Mushroom Kingdom, Mario's tasked with building it back up, and needs to gather masses of certain colored Toads to help him rebuild landmarks and houses for the other characters. This makes them more of a currency than anything, but they're still vital to reconstructing the kingdom, and that's deserving of some credit. You can also unlock Toadette and a Red Toad for the first time ever as playable characters, which is huge, and he's actually the easiest character to unlock outside of Mario. Once you link your My Nintendo account with the game, you can redeem Toad for 0 platinum points, and play with him basically out of the gate. I'm gonna give him another elite here, and that's 3 in a row. Let's keep it going. Toads are seen all throughout Mario Odyssey. There's one jamming out to some sick beats in every kingdom, and there's a Captain Toad hidden in each stage that gives you a power moon when you find him. He's basically doing exactly what Mario's doing, he just doesn't find as many moons. These dudes also heavily populate the Mushroom Kingdom, which makes sense, and they give occasional hints like they have in past games. I think it's a solid capable tier, because even when they have a moon, those are way less valuable than stars were in 64, so it's not as good for the ranking. Toad barely makes an appearance in this one. Captain Toad and his brigade get lost throughout the world, and Mario has to go find them. It kinda shows him to be pretty useless, but each one gives you a cat shine, and that helps a good bit. I think it balances out to another mid-tier. This game takes place in the Flower Kingdom, so there's not too many regular Toads hanging out. Instead, you get Blue Toad, Yellow Toad, and Toadette as playable characters, and they play the exact same as the human characters, being able to use power-ups and not having any unique attributes. Still, that deserves one final elite in my book. And there you have it. Real quick, if you take your Nintendo Switch on the go a lot and wish it was easier to lug around, you gotta ditch that clunky old dock. It's bulky, flimsy, and really doesn't have a good reason to be. And Accelerate Gaming's portable dock is the solution you've been waiting for. It cuts the unnecessary plastic of Nintendo's and gives you a sleek, durable, and very portable alternative. And it's only 20 bucks, so if you want to enhance your Switch setup and support this channel, go grab one now and use code JeremyK to get an additional 10% off your order. There's a very limited amount of uses on that, so redeem it while you can. And if you disagree with me on any of the rankings in this video, leave your takes down in the comments.